In this video, we will explore one of the wonders of the ancient world, the only one that can still be visited today. We'll uncover some of the 4,500-year-old mysteries that are waiting to be revealed. This video is a journey through time, filled with emotions and feelings evoked by these monuments of the ancient world, the Great Pyramids of Giza. The Great Pyramids are located in Northeast Africa, in the northeastern part of Egypt, in the city of Giza, which is part of the metropolitan area of Cairo, the country's capital. In Egypt, there are 118 pyramids, and what's curious is that all of them are located on the west side of the Nile River. The explanation for this may come from Egyptian mythology. The ancient Egyptians associated birth and the end of life with the sunrise and sunset, respectively. Egypt is a country where much of life revolves around the Nile River. So, this could be the reason. The sun sets on the west side of the Nile. In ancient Egypt, high social status was highly valued, and the size of a tomb reflected a person's status in life. Only kings and queens were allowed to build their tombs in the shape of pyramids. Among the 118 known pyramids, the most famous ones are located in the Giza Necropolis. The Giza Necropolis is an archaeological site that includes the Pyramid of Khufu, the Pyramid of Khafre, the Pyramid of Menkaure, the three smaller pyramids, the Great Sphinx, temples, cemeteries, and the ruins of a workers' village. Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure were pharaohs of the 4th dynasty of ancient Egypt, and they were, respectively, father, son, and grandson. The Pyramid of Khufu is the only one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world that still stands today. The others have all been destroyed. In addition to the 3 pyramids, all other monuments in the Giza Necropolis, in one way or another, relate to these 3 pharaohs. The Great Pyramid of Giza, which is the pyramid of Pharaoh Khufu, was built between 2700 and 2500 BC. The pyramid is massive, and everything about it is monumental. The amount of materials used in its construction, the weight of each stone block, the height of the monument, the length of its base, and its total volume in cubic meters, all of it is impressive. In addition, some of the materials used had to be transported from very far away. For example, blocks weighing up to 80 tons were brought from Aswan, which is more than 850 kilometers away. A construction of this magnitude, in 2500 BC, raises numerous questions. Questions about the many resources needed to make such a project possible, such as funding, manpower, infrastructure, construction techniques, and even the level of intelligence required to manage the entire process, especially considering the limited conditions of the time. The construction of a monument of such scale points to complex planning and execution activities, especially in terms of logistics, transportation, and the lifting of massive stone blocks, among many other challenges. Without the support equipment that didn't exist at the time, such as machines, cranes, and heavy transport vehicles, it's hard to imagine how this construction could have been possible. As for the labor used, was it contracted workers or enslaved people? One thing is certain, the pyramid took a long time to build, possibly around 26 years. After Khufu, the reigns of Khafre and then Menkaure followed, and they also decided to build their own pyramids. Khafre's pyramid is the second tallest and is the only one that still has a portion of its original casing stones at the top. Menkaure's pyramid is the smallest of the 3, and nearby there are 3 smaller pyramids that may have belonged to the pharaoh's queens. Proof of the difficulty involved in constructing these pyramids is that, around 3,800 years later, starting with Menkaure's pyramid, there was an attempt to destroy them, but it failed. When they managed to remove and throw a stone from the top, it was so heavy that it sank into the ground, creating even more work to dig it back out. After 8 months of effort, they had only managed to damage a small part of the pyramid. They realized that the destruction was costly and slow, and eventually gave up. For comparison between the pyramids of Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure, the height, base, and volume of the first 2 are quite similar. Menkaure's pyramid, however, has a height and base that are less than half the size of the others. A restoration project was recently launched to repair the damage caused by the attempted destruction of the pyramid, but the idea was quickly abandoned. When seeing these massive pyramid constructions up close, it's only natural to wonder what motivated such monumental achievements. In many countries, attitudes toward the dead are limited to sentimental and spiritual values. From a material standpoint, it often comes down to a simple headstone to mark the burial site, nothing more than that. So, one might ask, instead of simple headstones, as many cultures use around the world, why were the ancient Egyptians so deeply concerned with what might come after death? What could possibly justify a monumental construction meant only to house human remains? It seems that everything stemmed from certain beliefs about death. The ancient Egyptians believed that after death, a part of the spirit remained with the body. They also believed that death on earth marked the beginning of a new life in another world. In this way, concern for the remains would be necessary for the deceased pharaoh to fulfill his new role in this new life. In this new life, the pharaoh might perhaps be the king of the dead. With this belief in mind, they developed embalming techniques and the construction of pyramids. The pyramids would serve as a kind of resurrection machine, the house for the pharaoh's soul to pass from the earthly realm to the dwelling of the gods. The pyramids also aimed to protect and prevent the pharaoh's riches from falling into the hands of tomb raiders, rivals, or successors. In fact, they believed that by burying all their valuable possessions in the pyramids, they would continue to enjoy their wealth as soon as they awoke in the new life, the dwelling of the gods. With the popular spread of knowledge that, in addition to the remains, the pyramids housed the riches and other belongings of the pharaoh, tomb raiders sprang into action. Because of the valuable treasure stored inside, all the pyramids became targets of plunder over time. Only one pharaoh had his remains preserved from looters, Tutankhamun. The actions of the looters involved both the interior and exterior of the pyramids. The casing stones of the pyramids were removed, which, for example, led to the reduction in height of the Great Pyramid. The Great Sphinx of Giza is a massive limestone statue that has been carved into a single block. It has the body of a lion and a head that, it seems, represents Pharaoh Khafre. Regarding the absence of its nose, archaeological studies have concluded that it was intentionally broken off. There are several legends attempting to explain why, one of which suggests that this would prevent the return to life. The Pyramids of Giza, with over 14 million visitors annually, are one of the world's top tourist destinations. The initiative by Egypt's Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities to develop tourism marketing strategies is a promising one. In fact, as a tourist destination, these pyramids have been famous since ancient times. Several factors can contribute to increasing the flow of visitors to a tourist attraction. Being the tallest in the world, for example, could be one of these draws. The Great Pyramid held the title of the tallest building in the world for about 3,800 years. After that, this record has been surpassed many times over. Currently, the record for the tallest building in the world still belongs to the Arab world. It is the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. To conclude, the feeling of standing before monuments that are over 2,500 years old is indescribable. To see, appreciate, feel, and imagine how it was possible to achieve what was done are incredible travel experiences that are well worth having. Egypt has a rich history, and in this regard, it has much to offer as tourist attractions for those who enjoy appreciating fragments of history. As already mentioned, among so many treasures, Egypt is home to the only remaining wonder of the ancient world. For everything we've seen and much more, it is truly worth experiencing the Great Pyramids of Giza. This is where we'll end. Until our next journey.